things go. And so welcome, it is November 12th, and we are looking at math fact fluency and multiplication. And my name is Leah Dix-White. I'm an RC with Kentucky Center for Math. And so I'm glad that you all have come. And we're going to talk briefly for half an hour about math fact fluency. In particular, we're going to look at the text authored by Jennifer Bay Williams and Janet Kling. And we're going to be looking at the 5 basic fact fundamentals. Particularly, we'll look at the fact 3, foundational facts must proceed before derived facts. And so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some options other than time test. And also we'll look at some ways students can get some substantial and enjoyable practice with that. And so there's some interactive elements. And so I'm hoping that everything works the way it's supposed to. And so feel free to respond in the chat or unmute and respond. We have a few number of participants this afternoon, so there's plenty of time for discussion and elaboration if it lends itself. So welcome, welcome. And so when we're looking at multiplication fact fluency, we have this learning progression where we have our fundamental facts at the top, our 2s, 1s, 10s, 5s, and 0s. And so when we're talking about fluency, we are building on those foundational facts for our derived facts. And so if you look at everything that comes with the derived facts, a lot of our time is spent there, especially in 4th and 5th grade. And so we want to spend time making sure students are able to develop that fluency and provide them opportunities to do that, even digitally. And so we have a website that has all these resources available to you, and you'll have some time to play along with that. And I just wanted to make sure that you have that as a resource for you. And then finally, we'll look at some options that are also on the website of things we can do other than time tests. And so these are some things the authors suggest are good ways to assess students. And so we'll look at those options. All right, any questions so far? Okay, so we are going to do an activity, and hopefully you can see this. And so it's an opportunity to take action. And so that taking action book is what we have published from NCTM. And so we use that in KCM a lot as a foundation for our teaching practices, a way to improve our instruction and our craft. And so it's just a question for you. How have you taken action to learn or build fluency with your students this week? And so if you could share your thoughts and responses. And so I'm hoping that you are able to share that. All right. Okay, so I hope you don't mind. These aren't necessarily anonymous, but these are some things that some individuals are sharing, and we could have also shared in the chat, but I think this is really cool and nearby to share. So here's some things that people have been doing to build fluency. And we know fluency is about someone share what they have been doing instead of me talking.
I can share.
Yes, great.
My name is Brenda, and I am an elementary math coach for the school district of Holmen in Wisconsin. And we've done a lot of work with the same book that you're talking about. We've done a book study the last couple of years, and have really started to embed games and quick images and all those pieces in the book. So our big challenge this year has been, how do we do some of that virtually? So we've been looking to Kentucky quite a bit on some of your Jamboards and the ways that you're trying to do that through an online setting, because we're completely virtual right now as well. So trying to just figure out how to do that in the online world more so.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing that. Awesome. Anyone else want to unmute and share ways they're building fluency and taking action in their districts or in their schools?
Hi, I am also a math coach, and with my third grade and fourth grade teams, I've shared math flips from Berkeley Everett, and so there are a lot of visual images, and they really enjoyed them. And we're doing both. We have some virtual, we have some in person, so we're just trying to figure out how to handle both groups and be able to share games and things like that. But now not playing in partners, because usually they've been partner games, and so we're trying to figure that piece out as well.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing that. And some other people have said in the chat they've been using array models to help students that they're tutoring and using math flips. And so these are great things that other people are doing. And thank you all so much for sharing. Anyone else want to share some ways they've been doing this endeavor? Great. All right. Okay, so if we're talking about fluency, it develops in 3 phases. And so the text talks about this: counting objects mentally, and then the phase 2, derived facts, that big chunk that takes place in 3rd and 4th grade with multiplication, and using those foundational facts to build and to practice those derived facts. And then phase 3, mastery. And so you can read more about those in the text. All right, so we have some questions. This is not the one I wanted to go to. Let me see. Let me go back, stand by. I had some questions that I wanted to share with you guys. A matching activity, but I'm not sure if it started correctly. So let's see.
You can see the cards on our end.
Okay, good. All right, great. So what I'd like for you guys to do is there are some cards, and I want you to see if you can match the foundational fact cards with the derived fact cards, and spend some time doing that so we can distinguish between the two. So is it allowing you to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So I need to change my view to C. Okay, so I'm hoping I'm sharing the right thing. There's different views you can use with this, and so I'm playing around so that I can show your view. Okay. So some of them don't match up exactly. So the way you connect the cards, you would click on 2 cards at a time to say that they match. So if I see of a picture of 3 times 3, and I click on that, and then I click on foundational fact for multiplication per se, then if that's a match, then it would light up green, and if it's not a match, it would light up an X. And some of the descriptions don't match exactly, but I'm hoping that you can infer from the picture where the derived facts are with the foundational facts. All right, so can you see the matches that I'm sharing with you? So these were kind of this is the key that we use to create this. And I need to give credit where credit's due. Andrea Higdon created this activity and we shared it in our book study group when we were working with the JCPS cohort. And so I was just sharing some of that work with you guys. And so just a way for you to see the difference between those foundational facts in addition to subtraction and those in multiplication. So I wanted you guys to have some time doing that. And then there's another counting strategy, but I don't think we have time for that particular activity. It says solve a 4x4 with a counting strategy and a derived fact strategy, label each and show your thinking. But that is something we did in our cohort. So if you want to do that, you can, but we probably won't be able to get to that. But just a way so that you can practice distinguishing between the two. And so we did that in our cohort when we were doing the book study. And so if you wanted to take some time to look at that, you can, and we can share those. If not, we can move right on because I don't really think we have a whole lot of time to look at all of those different things, but we can move on to the next screen. And it says on the next screen, you will see a timer. You will complete as many multiplication facts as you can in 1 minute. And so then you're going to rate how it makes you feel to do that activity. And so take a moment to do that.
You moved a second too fast because it wouldn't click. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, what can you guys see?
Poll is reloading. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Give us a second because it's slow to take our answers, I think.
Okay. So if you can imagine how you all are feeling being asked to take a test and being put on spot, then how do you think that superimposes onto our kids? So that's one of the premises in the text is to eliminate those time tests. And so
I don't like the timer. I have never liked the timer.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I'm like trying to give enough wait time without blitzing through. But as you can see, most of us agree that it makes us anxious. And so we don't want to put our students in that position. And so we want to provide them ways to be able to develop fluency and to practice. And so I have, let me go back. One more activity. It's a time to climb. So I try to do all of these things that Nearpod offers to interact with you all. And so here we can, if you want to join this time to climb. Okay, question 2. Time tests help students master facts. All right, it's going fast. Okay, I'm sharing with you the questions as you are answering them. Okay, let's see what happened. All right, did that start it all over again? Or can you guys? Okay, so what I'm sharing with you now is the student view. And so you all just experienced that. But I thought this was really cute to embed this into your instruction as a working in a digital situation. I think it's neat to have ways to engage kids. So I was trying to engage you in the same way, but being able to give you an opportunity to think about some things that were mentioned in the text about time tests and about fluency. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment and give you an opportunity to share in a talk amongst yourselves or to share with the group about how you feel in reference to Math Fact Fluency before I share with you the website.
I just think we need to preach the messages from those questions. And then I want to preface that I got so distracted by looking at your screen, like I didn't answer the first few questions. And so I'm like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be answering questions. I'm like nodding, going, yep, that's right. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be clicking. So I finally got caught up. So I wanted to admit to trying to look at two screens, and that's my fault for trying to look at two screens at the same time. But those messages, like those true false questions, are a big deal. Like that's the stuff we need to make people understand, because some of those things that actually are myths are people go out and like, that's the way we got to do this. And no, it's not.
Definitely. And another thing I wanted to emphasize with you all is this idea of that sustainable practice. And I know you've seen it in the text, and I know you're familiar with that. And so that's our challenge, right, in this digital space, to be able to do that. And so I put in the chat a link to the website that has these resources bundled for you guys. And so I'm going to share my screen with you just so that we can navigate and look at those, and then you can have some time to explore. And so along with the text, there is a companion website. And with that, there are games and assessments that digitally will allow you to interact with your kids and be able to develop fluency with them, with foundational as well as derived facts. And so if you click on the games here, they're alphabetized according to the game number and the game name. And once you click on a particular game, so if we are talking about multiplication salute or multiplication pathways or any type of game there, they will be located here. And then within that link, you have a teacher and student document that you can print. And there is also a Jamboard. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity to play around with that. And so it'll prompt you to make a copy of the Jamboard so that you can interact with it. And so this is what you're seeing is a copy of the Jamboard multiplication salute. And so on the first frame, it'll be how to play the game, how many players you would need, and the directions pretty much of the game. And then as you toggle along the frames, you can actually play and interact with the game. And so here is a derived fact game. And so instead of having the salute game, if you're familiar, you put the card on your forehead. We can't really do that in a digital setting. And so we've brainstormed a way for you to interact in this way. And I have to give Bonnie Rydell props for this brainchild of coming up with having the card selected in a way so that we can guess our mystery factor. And so you would, if you look at the directions, you start by determining who's the leader. And so you would designate a leader, and then from there you would delete the factor 1 card, and then the leader would reveal the product, and then you'd have to guess. Whoever guesses the product first would then win those points. So would anybody like to play a round? 2 volunteers. It's okay. Not everybody jumping once. It's okay. But the resources are there available for you. Oh, happy birthday, Bonnie. I don't know. She's probably stepped away from him, but anyways, it was her brainchild that came up with how to do this. So basically, you would delete a factor and as the leader, and so whoever would be the leader, you would designate who that would be. It's no problems, Bonnie. I hear you. You're in the car rider line. No worries. And then if I was a leader, I would delete the product. And then between the 2 players, who would ever discover the mystery factor first, they would shout that out, oh, the mystery factor is 5. And then you would delete, the leader would delete this card to reveal that factor. And then whoever was able to guess that factor would drag the cards to their playing station. And then you would continue to play rounds. And so since player 2 would get that round, then you would come and give that player a point for that round. And then you continue to play different rounds, switching who is the leader and guessing the mystery factor. So that was our adaptation of Salute, Multiplication Salute.
And it's a very cool adaptation.
There's also other games on the website if you wanted to, sorry, let me stop sharing so I can get to where I was. Okay, all right, here we are. And so from there, you can check out all the different Jamboards, all the different, not all of the games are on the website. We have about 40% of the games from the book on the website for you to access in this way. And there's also assessments. So you could click here and use any of these tools. So like we were saying in the activities in the Nearpod, we don't want to give time tests. We want to be able to assess students' fluency and where they are in the learning continuum. And so we have on the website different monitoring tools that you can use, interview prompts, observation tools. They are also from the text that you could use when administering or playing games. And so I wanted to share those with you. You can either download the PDF or Word file, or you download the file directly onto your computer, and then you can access the tools that way. Okay. Any questions about Math Fact Fluency, about the resources from the website?
Some folks had asked about what was going to still be added, and while we're going to add some more depth, we've pretty much put the percentage of the book that the publisher will allow us to put. They do want a balance for those sorts of things. So we'll add some more depth, some richness, some videos to show how some of the things work, and some videos about how to use things from the actual book itself. But the games that you see, the activities that are there for free are probably what's there for free.
Thanks, Dee.
I have a question. The little game that we just did with answering questions, like the teacher questions and with the little characters, is that all located on the Nearpod?
Yes.
And that's how you made that from the Nearpod? Okay.
Yes.
That's cute. I like that. I'm not familiar with that.
Yes. I'm really not very familiar with it either. But like I was saying, I've been practicing, and when we were doing the book study, we kind of collaborated and created a Nearpod for that. And some of the questions that and activities we used from that, I was able to share with you guys. And so we're all learning how to navigate in this digital space.
Yep, absolutely. Love it.
Are there any other questions or comments for the whole group while we're here? Of course, I'm early. Got about 2-3 more minutes to spare, but I do appreciate you all coming out and sharing and participating in the session. It was a pleasure of mine to do this with you guys.
Yeah, 'tis the time for car rider line. So, yep. Thank you all very much for joining us. Know that there are recordings for all of the sessions that we've been doing. So if you've missed one and want to do that, if you want to go back and catch this one, those of you that were trying to listen in from car rider lines, you can go back and actually see what we did. Those all live at the Kentucky Center for Mathematics. And if I were smart, I'd have had that link ready. Oh, wait, there it is. Got it. I'm going to put the link in the chat for everybody as you go. So if you've got questions, all of this stuff lives there. We'll hang out for just a minute if folks have questions. If not, have a fabulous rest of your day. And thank you.
Thanks for coming.
You did a great job.
All right. Whew.